Hi everyone and welcome to the Mario and Dennis show. I'm Mario.
I'm Dennis.
So Tom Cruise did hurt himself?
Yes. Well, actually, first off,
You
would like to send my prayers to Tom Cruise a little bit. After we spoke about his stunt flop on last week's show, it turns out that he did get some injuries, I think a broken ankle or something with his back. So I'm just wishing that a good, speedy, safe recovery for Tom.
Yeah, you know, he's always prided himself on doing his own stunts. Even when the studio execs and the insurance companies were completely against it, it's just something, it's like his signature moves. So when they filmed The Mummy, he actually did a take 64 times until he got it right, which is crazy. You know, he's 55 years old, he's up there in age. I mean, he's not old, but at 55, you want to kind of chill back a little bit, maybe let a stunt person do it. The video is actually playing as we're speaking, so you see him slamming into the wall. He got up thinking he was okay, then you can see him limp. So,
right.
You know, it's time to hang up your stunt tricks and let someone else take it.
I think so. I mean, but he's been the Hollywood boy for like, you know.
Yeah, he's not a boy anymore.
Elisabeth Moss has candidly addressed being a Scientologist in a post on Instagram. The actress came to the defense of her controversial faith after a fan questioned her on whether there are similarities between Scientology and the totalitarian government Moss Hulu series, The Handmaid's Tale. I loved this adaptation so much, a fan commented on Moss's Instagram photo. Question though, does it make you think twice about Scientology? Now this is the fan asking.
Right.
Gilead, the fictional country in the show, and Scientology both believe that an outside source, aka the news, are wrong and evil. It's just very interesting.
Right.
But Moss, who's famously hush-hush about being a Scientologist, responded that it's actually it's not true about that, about Scientology. Religious freedom and tolerance and understanding the truth and equal rights for every race, religion, and creed are extremely important to me. The most important things to me, probably. And so Gilead and THT, take it on a very personal level. I don't know. I mean, it's been known she's been a Scientologist for a long time. I don't know.
All right,
I don't. Yeah.
So let me comment, because I have to. First of all, I love the series. I've seen it.
Right.
I've seen the entire series. Yep. I did not see the movie that starred Faye Dunaway back in 1990. I did see some clips on YouTube, so it's sort of similar. Some of the events that took place similar to the movie, which is pretty interesting. I'm not a big fan of the Scientology. I went to a Scientology church in Boston back in, I think it was the early 90s. And for 10 years, they did nothing but send me literature and call me for 10 years.
But that's how they...
Enough's enough. And the other thing, too, I mean, she talks about religious freedom and race, religion, but she doesn't talk about sexual orientation, which is interesting because if you've read the Scientology books, LGBTQ community is not accepted in Scientology. So I'm not a big fan. But they could also say this is sort of like the Catholic Church, in terms of what their beliefs are. So I think every religion has
that. You can't compare Scientology to the Catholic Church.
I'm not saying it's the same, but it is similar to any type of organized religion, as far as I'm concerned.
Organized, disorganized, yes.
Yes. So just so that we can share. And who was he?
From Saturday Night Live.
Oh, yeah.
In Portlandia.
Yeah.
Very brief.
I think she does a great job.
Very good actress.
She's nominated for an Emmy as well. There's 13 Emmys on this show.
She reminds me of a young Jonah, who was my favorite actress, who was in The Family, which was kind of
sort of. She's come a long way because she was in
Mad Men.
Yeah, Mad Men.
And before that,
so,
she was
good for her.
West Wing.
Yep. Yes, she was. And Samara Wiley, who was from, she plays Offrin, her friend. the African-American girl. She's also from The Walking Dead and Orange is the New Black.
Oh.
And she's also nominated for, I think, Best Supporting Actress.
Oh, really? For an Emmy?
Which is surprising. You've seen the show?
No, I haven't.
You haven't. It's surprising because I think the woman, Yvonne Strahovski, who plays the governor's wife,
Right.
should have been nominated as Best Supporting Actress. But that's just my opinion. You have to watch it. You have to see it.
Maybe.
You will.
Eventually.
You will.
Well, Taylor Swift, the Taylor Swift fans went into a frenzy last week by wiping her Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook accounts, which combined approximately 250 million followers, into like a total frenzy. With this doing, the internet is aligned with speculation about whether a new album is coming out, if it's imminent or not. But it's not the only reason Swift's fan base is snapping into "I can't wait" mode. Because normally Taylor tends to lead like with a new single in August. We sort of all know that. Something she's done in the last 3 albums, with "Shake It Off" being the most recent one coming out in 2014. I mean, it's all known that she does take it from her personal life experiences and turns them into blockbusters. Exactly. Yeah. So possibly, maybe with the recent groping trial that had happened with that DJ from Denver, DJ David Mueller, where she did come out triumphant over it. There might be a single coming out of that.
Could be.
And of course, it was all about the trial was all about like the female opposition to sexual harassment. So that might be a new song coming out, or the basis of a new album.
Whenever you can take something negative into something positive.
And she does that.
She does.
She does that.
Just like, what's her face? I can't think of her name right now. Who?
To the Bay.
Oh. So, ABBA, do you remember ABBA?
Of course I do.
I was too young.
Yeah.
Well, Benny Anderson has been recording a new 21-track album, Piano, due out on the Deutsche Grammophon label on September 29th. So his album contains songs from ABBA and several musicals that he had also written for. So there's a piano, this is interesting, there's a piano in the ABBA Museum in Stockholm. I don't know why you're laughing, but we can talk about that. It's actually connected to his studio. So whenever he's making music in his studio, it streams the music to the piano in the museum, and it duplicates everything he's playing real time. Pretty ingenious. That's great.
It's interactive. It's live.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Of course, you'll probably have like a million people that are like now taping it to like try and knock it off of their own.
But if you're a security guard at 3 o'clock in the morning and you hear a piano playing, I probably would get a little freaked out.
I would. Actually, I would too. I don't know what was making me giggle. I have absolutely no idea. Oh, ABBA mixing it with musicals. I don't know. I mean, even though they did do Mamma Mia.
Yes. Which he helped write.
I see them. There is that museum I saw once where they were like, it was all the fashions of ABBA, and I saw. You have to look it up. It's just really funny. I can visually see it. It's like just day glow everywhere. And, I was sort of blinded almost like I was by looking at the eclipse today.
Of course. Don't digress.
Who doesn't love Amy Schumer? Well, viewers watching the latest episode of Judge Judy, I love this, last week, got a major surprise when they spotted Amy Schumer in the audience.
She was there.
She sat in the crowd alongside with her sister Kim. She said that the taping first occurred back in May when she had the chance to meet Judge Judy. Now, also, we all know that she's filming in Boston, the Boston area. There's been many, many sightings about her for her latest movie, I Feel Pretty, which is about a woman who hits her head, and then she has a total different perspective of herself. As like, I think they were calling it like she starts acting like she's the Barbie doll.
Oh yeah.
To me, I haven't seen any trailer or anything yet, but I'm thinking it might be along the lines of like Shallow Hal was, which I loved that movie.
Well,
I thought that was such a good movie.
It was a good movie, and I saw the episode with Judge Judy. Dylan and I were sitting there, and we're looking. I'm like, she looks like Amy Schumer, but what would she be doing in court? So of course, get out the phone, start Googling everything, and that's when we learned that she was in part of the audience. So it was interesting. It was really good.
Very funny.
So on an unfortunate, sad note, this weekend, Sunday, we lost comedian legend Jerry Lewis. He died of natural causes in his home in Las Vegas on Sunday morning at the age of 91.
Right.
So Lewis was also the host, of course, of the long-running telethon, which raised millions for MS. Mm-hmm. Interesting enough, and he is a fighter, And I'm not sure if you knew this, but he was almost paralyzed in 1965 when he had a fall at the Sands Hotel during one of his acts. He had 2 heart attacks, one in the 60s, one in the 80s. He also had viral meningitis, prostate cancer, diabetes, and pulmonary fibrosis. And through all of that, he lived until he was 91. So good for Jerry. We'll miss him.
Yeah, he was good. I remember.
He was.
Yeah,
Dean Martin, Jerry Lewis.
Loved he was. I guess they set the boundaries or the guidelines for other comedians to follow.
Except Joan Rivers. She did her own.
Well, Joan Rivers did her own thing.
She did.
Oh man, I would.
It's great.
We need to see more Joan.
Yeah,
somehow. Maybe we'll do like a little tribute.
Maybe.
To Joan.
No promises.
I know, no promises. Well, you know, NBC has ordered a second season from The Will and Grace, even after its first season hasn't aired yet. It seems that everyone is so excited about it.
Yeah,
I am. I'm really thrilled.
I'm very excited.
I know I loved the show and the cast, but it was always the guest actors who would pop up here and there. Of course, they had the very talented and departed Debbie Reynolds, who played Grace's mom, to Sandra Bernhardt, who was the landlord who was renting the apartment, which was great, and then Jennifer Lopez, which everyone remembers the dance scene with Jack, and then many, many more. Well, it seems that for one guest appearance in the season, it will be our own former First Lady, Michelle Obama.
That's great.
This is going to be, I think,
That's going to be great.
The news came from In Touch Weekly and states that the details are still being worked out, but supposedly Michelle is up for anything as long as it doesn't cross the line too much, and adds that they will not be taking any personal jabs at Donald. Good. The writers will leave that to the rest of the cast, which is a safe zone. That's good. I think it's going to be hysterical, and I can only imagine what Karen Walker is going to say to her egger on. I wish that we could get some type of like behind the scene, because you know how Michelle Obama is pretty sort of stoic.
Right.
But I think I'm really excited about that.
I love Karen's character.
Of course, yeah.
And I've seen her in other films, but I don't think anything is as funny as when she does Karen.
Of course. Yeah.
It's a ride. I'm really glad. I'm glad. I think it was, maybe this nice break was good, and hopefully they'll kill it.
I don't... See, my biggest fear is bringing back Will and Grace. It's like the younger people who really didn't follow it as much. I've already seen so many types of sort of gay, straight friendships on TV post Will and Grace. So I don't know if they're going to appreciate it as much. I mean, and be able... It's like Ab Fab. Absolutely fabulous. You know what I mean? I always say, you know, if you didn't watch it from the beginning when it first aired, then you're really not going to... Or lived in.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Well, the thing about Will and Grace is that they do bring in all of these guests once a week. Right. So, and that could spark up some interest. We'll see.
Maybe they'll bring in
Justin Bieber and that freaking monkey. Yeah. Okay. So.
And his closeted
the parishioner.
Okay, you can take.
So I know this is not really anything exciting, but you know, for the sake of news. It's done. Robin Thicke and Paula Patton have finally ended their long custody battle over their son Julian. As previously reported, Patton filed and was granted a restraining order against Thicke in January after presenting allegations of domestic and child abuse, which I didn't know.
I didn't know that either.
Maybe I don't read enough. Well, the LA Child Family Services did investigate Thicke and cleared him, so the couple will now share custody of their son Justin, which is good news. Okay. For Justin, unless he really did beat him, then it's not really good news.
No, but the news now is here. Robin is parading around his new girlfriend, who's like several months pregnant. That's like all the news right now too, and that's why when I was like Robin Thicke and Paula Patton, because I like Paula Patton. She's one of your underrated, extremely underrated actresses.
Right.
More so you like to see her on like smaller indie films or like Lifetime.
She did do Mission Impossible though, I believe.
She did do. Yeah, she's had a few big ones. But so now he's just floating around with this. She's 22. I think she's a model or something, and she's pregnant. And
stupid.
I think it's just
yeah.
I don't know.
But who are we to judge?
Well, we don't. We can only say what's on our minds, because that's what the show's about.
I like to judge.
Well, this is sort of exciting and retro in a sense. I think that the Jetsons are coming back to television, which ABC has ordered a live-action adaptation of the classic cartoon series. According to Entertainment Weekly, the Hanna-Barbera, I forget how to pronounce that, characters are updated in a multi-camera sitcom set 100 years to the future and looks at America's favorite future family through a modern filter. I was just automatically sort of thinking Bundys mixed in sort of askew with the Trumps, and maybe just scandalously thrown in, I don't know, the Kardashians or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
it's not that I honestly, I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but I don't think it's gonna.
No,
float,
you think about the Flintstones when they brought that back.
The movie they did, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna float. That's you just gotta leave that stuff alone.
I do
leave it
think
alone.
so.
Yeah. So, people will probably say leave it alone to this story, but I love Mob Wives.
Right.
So for all you Mob Wives fans, great news! Drita D'Avanzo will be back on VH1 in a new reality series co-starring Snooki, who I can't stand, and Jen J. Wow Farley, both from MTV's Jersey Shores. Okay. Yeah, so although Drita is extremely busy with her new book and her store rightfully named Lady Boss, she's very excited to be back on television.
I like Drita.
So do I.
I really like Drita.
You can't look at her. You can't look at her the wrong way. She'll kill you.
She will knock
chalk
you
down, man.
But what I love is that we're having such crossover on this show, because last week we mentioned about some specific person looking for a place in New Jersey, not near the Jersey Shore girls, and then you go and mention Snooki and Skookie and well, the one guy Mike's on.
Either.
The one guy Mike is now on that.
He's not looking normal. He's had some work done.
Maybe
something.
he has, but I don't know. But he's on that Famously Single, which is probably one of the most saddest shows.
It is sad.
I try to watch it sometimes, and I can't stomach it. And that awful girl New York who was on Flavor Flav's thing, whatever, she's just a monstrosity. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well,
they all are really. And they had that Asian girl who was on like Rich Kids of Beverly Hills. Which there's not even a reason why she. And no diss to my peeps, but there's no reason why she should.
I can't stand her. No.
Well, this is sort of interesting, and I didn't really know it was brewing that much, but Kanye and JayZ have a feud.
Yeah.
And I'm actually not, I'm being serious, I'm not joking. With no wives, no kids, and that's the Scarface rule. And Kanye West violated it, so says JayZ. He finally opened up about his beef with Kanye, revealing that West crossed the line during a 2016 rant about his issues with JayZ, in which he called out Beyonce by name and said she was acting like a diva. Kanye also ranted that JayZ never brought Blue Ivy to his house to play with his kids. JayZ appeared on the Radar Rap podcast with Elliot Wilson and B. Dot and said he and Kanye had argued a ton of times in the past, but they always had respect for the boundaries, you know, that not going too far here or there.
Right.
When Kanye mentioned her, and I'm afraid to say her name now, and the kids, he said, that's a real problem. That's a real problem. You know, they're also having disputes with JayZ's company, which is the web streaming company called Tidal, because Kanye wants to pull out of the deal that he had signed with him initially to live stream all of Kanye's new music first and all of that. I mean, Kanye's still whacked, and he's still a nut. I think JayZ has a point there. It's like, don't disrespect the family, in a sense.
Right. You never disrespect someone's family.
Right, especially...
You don't go there.
Her name. I didn't even say
Beyonce?
It. Yeah. Watch. We'll be shut down. We'll have like police here and Secret Service crew any minute.
No, yeah, exactly.
Right.
So this is interesting because I actually didn't know they were doing another movie, but we're coming close to the 16th anniversary of 9/11. It's right around the corner, and so was the latest 9/11 movie based on actual events. It stars Charlie Sheen and Whoopi Goldberg. It's an intense film that focuses on a group of 5 people trapped in an elevator in the World Trade Center's North Tower. Let's take a look at the clip.
Today we've had a national tragedy. In an apparent terrorist attack on our country, 2 airplanes have crashed into the World Trade Center.
You know how sometimes you just don't want to get out of bed?
Yep.
That was me today. Everything okay?
Yep.
There's no one who has not been affected by this.
Jeffrey, what's going on?
I don't have a clue.
Is anybody there? Can anybody hear me? Guys, we got 32 elevators off the grid. All the upper floors are gone. Hello? Anybody hear me?
Betsy, it's Eddie.
Baby, you're not gonna believe this.
Hello? Oh, Mom! Where the hell are you? We're still in the North Tower.
Can you please have her call my wife? Me too.
Mom, listen to me. Hello?
That was really intense. I think it's going to be a really good film.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see Whoopi Goldberg back on the screen. And Charlie Sheen sober. So I think it's going to be great.
I don't know. I mean, I lived through it. I saw it. I had to walk through it that same day. So
I know.
I don't know how. I don't think I would pay to go see it.
Well,
You know,
I don't pay to see movies. I just pirate them.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that it's going to be depicted with emotion and all of that, but I don't know. On that, I just leave it as is.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyways,
Go ahead.
well, the weekend box office were the hits were Hitman's Bodyguard, oh my God, it came out. Hitman's Bodyguard and Logan Lucky. The Hitman's Bodyguard is hitting the target at the domestic box office, where it grossed an estimated $8 million last Friday, for a projected $21 million debut, which is more than enough to win the weekend, ahead of Steven Soderbergh's Logan Lucky. Neither film lacks the star power, because Hitman's Bodyguard has Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson, while Logan Lucky has Channing Tatum, Daniel Craig, who just signed with an up for new 007, Katie Holmes, and Hilary Swank.
Right.
Although it looks like another sluggish weekend overall as summer winds down. I mean, it hasn't been that big of a blockbuster. But the Hitman's Bodyguard, I was immediately thinking of the movie Bodyguard with Whitney Houston and Costner.
No.
What's his name?
Costner.
Kevin Costner. And you know, and then just think about the other one, Logan's Lucky. It's about a heist during a NASCAR race in North Carolina. So I don't know how funny that's going to be, or what, if it's a serious, if it's going to be like the last, run or whatever.
I don't either.
But again, here we are doing crossover because you talked last week about John Travolta's film,
Right.
Which is, I guess it's about autos. And,
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. They're running out of things to do. The good news is that both their budgets were $29 million.
Right.
So that's a good thing. Well, it's a good thing for the Hitman's Bodyguard because they pulled in $21 million this weekend.
Right. And
Logan Lucky, unfortunately, not so lucky. And if anyone wants to see what the weekend box office looks like on a Sunday night, just log on to Box Office Mojo. I like that site because you get to see what the budget is, and it's always nice to see somebody with a low budget, especially horror movies because they're so cheap to make.
Right.
Below the budget, like Get Out, made a lot of money, and the budget was very small, so good for them.
But where I get my movie reviews from is Fun 107's Fridays, Wally Waffle.
Oh,
I love that segment because
good.
I like listening to him and just hearing what his take is.
Yeah. Okay, you might want to expand your horizons.
Well, maybe. No, I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, I don't know if anyone saw or had the chance to experience a portion of the eclipse. I mean, we went out at work for like a quick couple of minutes and took selfies with
Yeah, I did. Listen, I saw an eclipse 30 years ago, so for me, I really could care.
I remember
less.
looking through it through paper. Remember
Yes,
you poked
it
a
was
hole? It was a double sheet of paper.
Yes, it was. Right. And now they're out selling glasses. For
and now I'm like, now I have really thick prescriptions. And I think we could maybe don't look at an eclipse, except for Trump, which he did, which quickly, I don't know.
Of course.
Anyways,
so that wraps up
It does.
this edition of the Mario and Dennis Show. Thank you for watching. I'm Mario.
I'm Dennis.
Have a good night.
Bye.